Hey guys, TrainerDC here, coming at you with another video. Did we get our first look at our first Pokemon in Generation 10? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, a few weeks back, Pokemon dropped a trailer for Pokopia, this Minecraft-like spin-off game where a Ditto's trainer seemingly perishes, and it basically is rebuilding an island in an Animal Crossing Minecraft-like life simulator type game. It's personally not my cup of tea and not something that I really want to play at all whatsoever or have any interest in. However, something caught my attention with it. No, I'm not referring to the fact that it's a game key card, although that's a rather unfortunate situation. What I'm referring to is at the end of the trailer for that game, they did a 10-minute trailer explaining the game, and I only caught the end of it because I was curious about the game key card situation, and I see all of a sudden they revealed two brand new Pokemon, or two forms of Pokemon we know, but they look a bit different. So what I'm referring to here is a different Pikachu and Snorlax that was revealed in the trailer, and these could possibly be our first look at Generation 10 Pokemon. So if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, as you can see on screen, we got the reveal of Pikachu, and it's described as being what an unusual pale Pikachu, and clearly from the trailer and from the images that we see here, as we can see in these pictures here, it's looking like it's a ghost type Pikachu. And then as well, in addition to that, as you can see, there's another Pokemon like this called Mosslax. It says moss has grown all over this Snorlax and a flower sways atop its head. How long has it been asleep? And it looks like a grass type Snorlax that's called Mosslax, and you can see from the in-game images here, it kind of looks more like a statue. And so what I'm thinking of here with Mosslax and Pikachu, obviously it looks like a grass type Snorlax and it looks like a ghost type Pikachu, which in turn is essentially convergent species. Is that what we're doing here? And they're revealing them through Pokopia. If you guys don't know what convergent species are a type of Pokemon that were introduced in Generation 9. There aren't that many of them. There's only Toedscool and Toedscrew, which are obviously convergent versions of Tentacool and Tentacruel. We got Wiglet and Wugtrio, which are water type convergent forms of Diglett and Dugtrio. And then in the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, we got Sinistra and Poltergeist, which are convergent versions of Sinistea and Poltegeist. The fact of the matter is here, these two Pokemon in Mosslax and Pikachu look to be very similar to what we got with those three convergent lines that I just mentioned. The only problem is, are these going to be exclusive to Pokopia, or are these going to come to Generation 10? And that is really the big question here. Obviously, we know starting in Generation 7 with Pokemon Sun and Moon, we started to get regional variants, which were essentially Pokemon that got different typings and different variations of them. They had different looks and whatnot, like Alolan Raichu's a psychic electric type that rides on its tail, whereas regular Raichu's just a regular electric type. Or you have Alolan Ninetales that's an ice type, whereas regular Ninetales is a fire type. This is something that was introduced in Generation 7 in Sun and Moon and was a really cool concept, and we've seen Pokemon expand upon it since they got introduced in Generation 7. In Sword and Shield, we saw it get expanded upon even further, getting some unique evolutions to these regional variants. Then in Generation 9, in Scarlet and Violet, we started to see it kind of tone back a little bit, and we started getting some convergent species, which are essentially a very similar concept to regional variants. Well, we have that here with Pokopia, and I really like what these look like in Mosslax and Pikachu, but we really don't know, is this going to be like a Primal Dialga situation? If you guys don't know, Primal Dialga was in one of the Pokemon spin-off games. I believe it was a mystery dungeon game. It was like the final boss or something. I didn't play that game, so I don't really know much about it, but Primal Dialga doesn't exist within, the core Pokemon series, or like Shadow Lugia and XD Gale of Darkness. Shadow Lugia does not exist in the regular Pokemon games, or like that Shadow Mewtwo in Pokken Tournament as well. So are these going to be another instance of that, or are these going to be our first Generation 10 Pokemon? I was leaning towards the latter when this first happened, that these would be our first Generation 10 Pokemon, but the problem here is if we continue going on this site, this is the character page, and there's two other Pokemon here. There's Professor Tangrowth. It's affectionately known as Professor Tangrowth. This Pokemon is a vital guide to you and all the Pokemon you meet. As you can see here, it's a different looking Tangrowth. It has different coloring on it. It has a TM attached to its head. It's holding a stick. I guess that's like its pointer if it's teaching you a lesson, and it has these broken glasses. but it's a different looking Tangrowth, but it's also still Tangrowth. Then if we scroll down even further, there's a Smeargle called Smearguru. It says, what a colorful chum, it looks like quite the prolific painter. If we look at Smearguru versus regular Smeargle, they are quite similar, but Smearguru obviously has paint all over its body, and it has this little mustache that is painted on itself, which is such a fun little touch. But other than that, aesthetically speaking, it's exactly the same Pokemon. Like, yeah, the ears are a bit longer, yeah, the tail's a bit bigger, but it still looks like a Smeargle, but it has a different name in Smearguru. So what are we looking at here? Is this a regional variant of Smeargle that's going to come to Generation 10, or is this just a character that was originally created for Pokopia and is going to be nothing more than that? Obviously, Professor Tangrowth is not going to be a regional variant of Tangrowth that comes in Generation 10. That is clearly a character that was just introduced for Pokopia. I could see Smearguru being nothing and just a character for Pokopia, or I could see it being a regional variant in Gen 10. But the fact of the matter is here, if, let's just say, for argument's sake, 2 out of these 4 Pokemon are exclusive to Pokopia, are they really going to make Mosslax and Pikachu in a main series core RPG game in Wind and Waves, which is going to be Generation 10? I'd have to venture to guess the answer is no. Although these seem like such wasted forms then, right? These are so cool. These seem like great ideas conceptually, a grass-type Snorlax and a ghost-type Pikachu. Do these evolve even further? Does Pikachu evolve into a ghost-type Raichu, or does it evolve into a brand new Pokemon? Does Mosslax evolve into maybe a Munchlax, kind of like how we saw Sinistra and Poltergeist kind of reverse the Sinistea and Poltergeist relationship? Sinistea is the first in the Poltergeist line, whereas it got flipped around for Poltergeist and Sinistra. That'd be kind of cool if we see Mosslax as the base form, and then, you know, the Munchlax variant is even this bigger, bulkier Pokemon. That'd be something rather fascinating to see, or maybe this is a one-stage Pokemon. I hope these come to Generation 10. I really, really, really do. And I would say at this point, it's probably like a 40% chance they do and 60% chance they don't, and that is rather disappointing to me. I am keeping my eye on Pokopia just because of this alone, because as I said before, I could care less about playing Pokopia. It's not my cup of tea. I played Minecraft as a kid. I'm not, you know, the biggest fan of that genre. I'm not the biggest fan of these life simulators like Animal Crossing, or, you know, I played Tomodachi Life a little bit back in the day. Those aren't my cup of tea, so I'm not really interested in this game, although aesthetically it does look good graphically speaking. I like the art style of it, but I am very interested to keep an eye on it to see what this Mosslax and Pikachu end up turning into. Are they just characters created exclusively for this game, or are these our first Generation 10 Pokemon? Only time will tell, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about Mosslax and Pikachu? Do you think they're our first look at Generation 10 Pokemon as new Convergent species, or do you think these are going to be exclusive to Pokopia? Let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from Trainer DC. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.